My testimony today, based on my experience in this Cold War with the CCP as a U.S. diplomat, a concerned American, and a resident of Michigan, focuses on failures of the federal government to both understand the depth and breadth of this threat and to effectively counter it. I witnessed firsthand the CCP's impactful use of political and economic warfare across the Indo-Pacific. Through this, China has effectively bypassed our historic defensive barriers in the Pacific called the First and Second Island Chains, endangering Hawaii, Guam, U.S. territories, and our friends and allies there. Despite ample warning by Pacific Island leaders, the federal government did little over the years to stop China's ominous advance. During my accreditation trip to Kiribati, I visited the Friendship Bridge, connected North and South Tarawa, paid for by the DoD funding and dedicated by in 2010 by my former late predecessor, Ambassador Steve McGann. It was built using World War II-era Bailey Bridge construction design, certainly far deficient for the punishing weather at the equator. The bridge was well past its temporary design purpose, patched and diamond plate sheeting scattered on it, rusting apart and unsafe. I worked aggressively with INDOPACOM to secure the funding to replace the bridge. It was ultimately approved, however, it got snagged between the Pentagon and the State Department bureaucracies. In my understanding, it remains snagged. The CCP-owned China Railway Group swooped in and built an auxiliary cement bridge, though underwater during high tide. Our Friendship Bridge is in tatters, and it is now, in my understanding, now impassable. I have also witnessed malign influence through a subnational incursion and influence operation by a PRC-based and CCP-tied lithium-ion battery manufacturer, Goshen, in Green Charter Township, Michigan. And that's just one of many examples across the United States that threatens our national security and sovereignty. Roughly 70 miles from Goshen's proposed facility is a secure U.S. military installation known as Camp Grayling. It's the hub of the National All-Domain Warfighting Center, which trains our troops and those of our allies, including Taiwan, in strategic and tactical battle operations. Goshen submitted a voluntary declaration to the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States in the spring of 23, quite surprisingly declared it a, quote, uncovered real estate transaction. In recent weeks, the Biden administration proposed a rule that added over 50 U.S. military bases, including Camp Grayling, for required reviews by CFIUS when a deal involving a foreign company such as Goshen falls within a 100-mile radius of a military facility. Perplexingly, while our defense officials likely instituted this rule on account of mission-critical assets at Camp Grayling there, it is not retroactive and it does not apply to Goshen. Through my volunteer work for the MCSRG in recent days, I was alarmed to discover federal officials either ignored or overlooked a February 2020 U.S. Treasury Department CFIUS rule regarding joint use military facilities that covers the Goshen transaction, given the Army airfield at Camp Grayling. I wrote to Mr. Paul Rosen, the Assistant Secretary of State of the Treasury for Investment Security, requesting he re-examine Goshen's declarations under that regulation and scrutinize the project accordingly. Court filings this past Friday revealed offers by Goshen to now recalled trustees that seem to involve elite capture, corruption, influence peddling, and enrichment. These offers include all expense-paid trips to China, a sweetheart real estate purchase that would have netted a recalled trustee $2 million, and employment in the event that they were recalled. Text messages between a Goshen official and a recalled trustee read, "We got each other's backs, and you have my back now. Now it's my turn to help as well. You have been a great partner and becoming an even better friend. I will help however I can." Those are never disclosed and below the radar of the federal government. This is precisely where our national security and intelligence agencies in 2022 convened and warned a bipartisan group of state elected and local leaders and business officials to be very careful and wary about the grave risks about engaging in these seemingly benign business deals with companies based in the PRC. And instead of following the directives to conduct them transparently, do due diligence, perform strict scrutiny, ensure transparency, integrity, and accountability, the government and business elites with this project did exactly the opposite. They moved fast and in secret, binding them and shrouding them in 5- and 10-year non-disclosure agreements using secret code names. So this ruptures the consent of the governed and certainly jeopardizes our national security. These events offer a cautionary tale on the importance of intergovernmental agency process that first acknowledges the serious threat, political and economic warfare being waged by the CCP, second, that is nimble spotting these threats, and third, can defend, if not prevent them within our sovereign nation. Thank you for your time and attention, and I look forward to answering your questions.